Kitty Chameleon here from the Kitty Chameleon Show. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. As usual, I would come up with a topic and then something may happen and I have to switch off immediately to something else, right? So today we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Harvey and the displaced residents in Houston. We're going to be chit-chatting with a Houstonian. Some of you may know who he is, some of you may not. But I decided what better to hear exactly what's happening from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Someone who was born and raised in Houston that can tell you exactly what is going on. Because I know a lot of us have been watching the news reports. Some of the news reports are correct. Some are not 100% because they may not be able to get into the areas. Some of the reporters may have flown in from other areas to cover the story because it's such a major story. They may not have all the facts. So I decided I was going to share the highlights, the lowlights, all the lights today with what's going on in Houston in this flood. I just came in last night, literally from the West Coast, from work, and the airports in Houston are totally closed. A lot of people did not make it out prior to the weekend to work because the impending storm warning. A lot of people were not able to make it back home to Houston because all the flights were either totally full or canceled going into Houston. So it was like nothing was going in, nothing was coming out. There's a lot of stuff going on all the social medias. A lot of people are being sheltered in various genres, whether it's going to be in a church facility, a hospital, big settings where you can accommodate a whole lot of people. It's a lot of stuff going on the news, a lot of pictures out there with people trying to get out of their homes. A lot of animals are misplaced, displaced, lost. We're just hoping for the best. This, they say, is one of the worst tropical storms ever. And we know that Houston has been hit with at least 2 to 3 this year alone. Of either hurricane, tropical depressions, tropical storms, whatever you want to call it. And we just want to give our prayers out to all the people in Houston, every last one of them. If it's at least 5,000 people or 500,000 people living in Houston, we want to send our prayers out to all those people. We're hoping for the best. We're hoping that the ministers, the local government officials, that they can help any which way they can. We're hoping for celebrities that they can also chip in and help any which way they can to save the lives of these people. Last reports that they were kind of opening some draining system to get rid of it, but we also heard that the storm is going out and it's coming back. So it's not over till it's over. So with that in mind, I want to start the show off. I want to thank you guys who are tuning into the show. For those of you who are not able to watch the show as usual at 3 o'clock, just watch it after it's viewed because it will be back on for you to see later on. All right. So we're going to start off by talking about the beginning of this, when it all started. What were, I would say, the warning signs, because usually the weatherman would tell you, we have a storm coming through, residents prepare yourselves, and that sort of thing. Now, I have a very, very dear and special friend on the line. Like I said, speaking from the horse's mouth, he's from Houston, Texas. He's going to tell me everything I need to know about the storm. I'm going to ask him questions about what's going on and so on, because I have a lot of friends that live in Houston right now. And thank God they're doing well. So I'm going to start the show off. And my dear and special guest today is Mr. Ron Robinson. Some of you may know him in passing, some of you may not, but we have Ron on the line because he's extremely informative, and he lives in Houston, born in Houston, raised in Houston. He can tell us everything. So, Ron, welcome to the Keeney Chameleon Show.
Oh, thank you, Jean.
All right.
Yeah, very informative too.
All right.
What that you have.
Okay. So hopefully we can hear what's going on. Try to get the volume up as high as I can. Yeah, that's it. Now, tell us about the beginning of the warning signs of the storm. When was the whole Houston area alerted about the storm? Because today is Tuesday.
Yeah, it was last Tuesday. Everything went on high alert. The storm stalled out in the Gulf and got bigger and stronger. And they predicted it was going to be a Category 2.
Mm-hmm.
But just as it got near Corpus, it stayed out Wednesday, and then it became a Category 3, and it moved at a slow pace. When it finally hit Rockport and it hit Corpus Christi, it hit those two cities as a Category 4 hurricane.
Wow.
And that had been done in, I think they said 94 years.
Mm-hmm.
Texas. So, instead of going east, it went west, and they had predicted it to go east, and it more went west towards San Antonio.
Uh-huh.
And they got a lot of rain. And by Thursday, we were getting a lot of rain just from the bands. We were on what they call the backside, the dirty side. So Houston was already getting saturated from the bands from the Gulf.
Mm-hmm.
And when it moved to come towards Houston, that's when we were getting up to 2 inches to 2 inches of rain in every 30 minutes. So
wow.
1 hour, we got 4.5 inches of rain there.
In 1 hour.
1 hour, and then for some reason, our Corps of Engineers and city designers have every major freeway that sometimes dips down and come back out on the other side. And because of that, all the major freeways that started, I think I want to say Saturday night, some of those dips in the freeway, it was only 5 feet deep. I couldn't even get past there, which I was trying to.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next day at 2 o'clock, that passageway was 20 feet deep.
Oh my goodness. So it from between Thursday to Friday, from 2 feet, it went to 20 feet within a day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that shows you how dangerous this depression is, I should call it. This hurricane or storm. I call it a hurricane. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So where were you when all this was happening, Ron?
My daughter worked at the hospital. She had 3 dogs. So I came to their house and hit it. But the implication is going to hit all of you, not part.
Mm-hmm.
So I said Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday, once the storm started moving, when it moved west, the sun that came out and cleared. I thought the worst was over, and I went back to my apartment where it floods all the time, regardless.
Right.
And you get 2 inches of rain. So, and I went there a good 2 hours. I saw on the back of my apartment raised bayou. That's the bayou that's over flooding.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody watched any of the news, they would have saw a lot of rescue from people saying they stayed off North Bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw the rain after being there just 2.5 hours. Rain was coming in the apartment.
Wow.
I have your sliding door to go.
Mm-hmm.
He's 5. His name is Ryder Robinson. And I have 2 dogs, so I had to.
So you had Ryder and the 2 dogs getting ready to pack up to get the X out of there, huh?
Yeah, I had
right.
to do it real fast because for every 5 minutes you wait, you get almost another foot of water.
Wow.
Gushing over the bayou,
mm-hmm.
Going over his bank. But I did it pretty quickly. I wish I'd have got more, but I didn't want it to be a total.
Right, you did what you could.
That stayed there, that lived on the 2nd and 3rd floor, all of their cars are totaled.
Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how fast the storm was rising, in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. And I had to go opposite of a one-way because on the other side it was too deep.
Right.
And my van stalled off, so I had to get out and push it.
Whoa.
And I got pushed to dry at a higher spot, and I was surprised it started.
Wow, that's a blessing from God right there.
Yeah. And I still managed to get to the hospital and get on the freeway. I had to go through high water there.
Mm-hmm.
It just started building up so fast. It's like somebody waves a wand, and less than 35 minutes, practically everything was impassable.
Oh my goodness. So what speed were you going at? 10 miles per hour? I mean, could you see anything?
Because I got that break to get on the freeway, I was able to at least go 55.
Good.
With my flashers on.
Okay.
You never know when you get upon, when you go to a freeway, you have the ups and the downs.
Mm-hmm.
If you got a down and some water down there, and some cars are low,
right.
They take it. So they are told on the storm, turn around and don't drown.
Mm-hmm.
Have a person coming at you on the freeway because they couldn't get by that low dip in the freeway.
Right.
Yeah, so they were supposed to drive in the shoulder lane if they're going the opposite way.
Mm-hmm. So you made it to the hospital with Ryder and the doggies.
You're right.
Okay.
And they admitted my grandson because he had a fever of 103.
Oh, gosh.
He was fighting the virus.
Yeah.
So he got a bed and I got a bed.
Oh, well, that was good. So tell me what was going on at the hospitals. Were there other people at the hospital, so to speak, coming in for shelter, basically? Because, your daughter works there, so it's automatic. You're going there, but what about in terms of shelter? Were there people coming in for that, or were there emergencies?
There's so many people that are homeless by that downtown hospital, St. Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a lot of people just want to get out of the rain and didn't have nothing medical emergency.
Uh-huh.
When they found out some of those people were just trying to get out of the rain, they needed to make room for original emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So those people, they had to leave the premises.
Wow.
But that only lasted for Friday, for that day. In Saturday, they were being real hard and not taking any homeless in. They said, well, the city has a backup plan. Y'all can go to the George R. Brown.
Mm-hmm.
And open that up.
Okay.
Because they didn't want homeless people taking beds from people that were actually sick.
For sick, right.
You had people that were getting the department I live in, they were rescued those people with a harness and the other guard that's in the rescue still come down with a harness, and they did women and children first.
Right.
And they would pick them up off the balcony and fly across the dry land on the feet of 610. And they did that, for practically 4 or 5 hours. They got 125 people out.
Wow.
People got sick and was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that needed the medical attention.
Right.
That's what they had to emphasize.
Right.
When they start bringing the rescue people.
Right, so they know who needs what, basically.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Let's talk about the shelter thing for now. I know there is a little bit of controversy going on about some of the mega churches taking in and not wanting to take in. I know, I think it was Joel Osteen. He's a famous minister in that area. They were giving him the flag that he did not want to help people. And then there's another side of the story that was not the case. So what have you heard about that?
Yeah, I understand. He wanted another help come in there and do the arrangement on making people safe with so many of his people that he wanted to come and do that. They have to deal with their own life and they're not able to get there. So until he said he got enough volunteers, he wasn't going to open his door because, they had at least 45 or 55 other places that had shelter.
To go before they went to him.
He said as they get to the point, especially the George R. Brown Convention, once they fill up, you think by then he could get members in there, get things up, and lay cloth on everything. I think he just got outstanded by a guy that owned a furniture store. He made two of his large furniture stores open right away for shelter. And after he did that, then Osteen announced that their mega church was ready to welcome anyone to shelter because this, you can have over 4.5 million people. And you can't evacuate almost 5 million people. Maybe you can, but I think our mayor made the right choice. Because, the storm would have went into San Antonio deep. And then you evacuate all those people. Imagine how much money would have been lost.
Right.
And we're not talking about the money, it's the souls that are more important.
More important, yes.
It's just certain areas got evacuated real late in it because they, just really didn't think that much rain, that this hurricane was going to drop that much rain. I've never seen it. It's just a once in a lifetime storm. They call it a 500-year storm.
Wow.
They're not talking about literally 500 years. I was questioning that. They said no. They don't know what happened 500 years ago because slavery is only 230. So,
right.
But they're just saying this is one-time violent storm that you ever see like this in a big major
metropolitan. Yeah. And Ron, it's a lot of things that are happening right now that you would want to believe these are the signs of the times. Because look, the other day we had the eclipse. They were talking about 150 years for the eclipse. It literally came 99 years later.
Right.
Not 100, 99. It almost made it 100 years, but it was 99 years to the day when the eclipse. And that's what I kind of talked about on last week's show.
And you find that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of people may get distracted from, you just can't look one way. You can't have blinders on. I mean,
yes.
We had landfalls and mudslides where a whole village in Sri Lanka, maybe 900 people are covered with mud. Several other disasters and earthquakes in Italy. All that stuff started happening one after the other.
One after the other.
And it's funny, you're right, you mentioned the eclipse. It's funny how all these things just was happening in different parts of the world.
Yeah.
Way that they're calling this storm, the storm of the century.
The storm of the century, yeah.
Yeah.
We've never seen anything like it. And Houston is, I remember last year, April, I was stuck in Houston for about 2 days. They had that storm, and that was big, and everybody thought that was huge. It's not even comparison. There's no comparison.
Memorial Day flood, and before that, it was the tax season flood.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they were pretty bad, and they were pretty bad at one of the spots that considered too low, which is in Maryland and Braidwood. And I knew when I moved into that apartment, it was a roll of the dice. I said, well, it can't happen 3 times.
Right.
They had to redo all those 130s, put everything in new.
Wow.
2 months free rent. I mean, they like forced the apartment on you. All you have to do is pay $175 to move.
And walk in. Mm-hmm.
And so me not having too long of finding another place, I said, you know what? It can't happen 3 times.
Right.
Well, that just goes to show you. Anything can happen.
Right. Remember, the saying is it happens in 3s. So, you know, if you see one, you're like, oh, what next? And then the second one come, prepare for the third, because it's always, it comes in 3s. It's just.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to believe it.
Yeah.
I thought I was looking at it as such a good deal, but now.
Yeah. Seeing is believing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The apartment is 5 to 6 feet underwater, and I stay on the first floor.
Whoa. And can you imagine rescuing people on higher grounds, like you said earlier, you know?
Oh, yeah. I don't think I could have done what I saw my neighbors do. You know, I have a heart condition, so to get on the harness and to get the rings up so many feet in the air, and they don't take you all the way to the helicopter. They let you hang. Because it's faster to get you on board than get in
and put you, yeah.
They let you hang in midair, then they fly over to dry land, then they horse you down.
And we are not making light of it, but this is no bungee jumping event here. Yeah. This is no do, dare, or die. You know what I mean? Those shows we see on TV where we see all those people. No, this is real life.
Yeah.
This is real life. Let's tell me about some of the areas in Houston, Ron. For those people that are not familiar with Houston, like I said, I have a lot of friends that live in Houston in different sections of Houston. Run down some of the cities, so to speak, in Houston.
Well, it covers over 170 miles in diameter, and a lot of it is the suburbs. Then you got the inner city, and like in some of the super suburbs, like the Woodlands and Humboldt and Kingwood. So far, Kingwood and Humboldt hasn't done that bad until today.
Right.
They are part of Kingwood, those houses that by Lake Houston. Apparently, high tide came in. Never stopped raining. It's still raining right now.
Yeah.
So they have to rescue people out of that part of Kingwood. I'm still in Kingwood, but I'm on a higher area and at least a mile and a half away from Lake Houston.
Right.
Where some people build their houses, $500,000 houses back on the, as the lake in their backyard where they can go out there and they have the boat dock there and they can go straight into Lake Houston.
Right.
Well, with the high tide and the opening of different spillways, it flooded those people and they had to be rescued to get out.
I see a lot of pictures with boats, literally in just ordinary air. It's like downtown, flooded, canoes, boats. I mean, what's going on with all of that, Ron?
Well, that freeway 59 south or 69 down below, all that flooded. It's not going to go anyway or go drain off anywhere for another 5 to 7 days. And then the downtown has unfortunately got flooded by them opening up the Adams Spillway.
Oh, okay.
And then when they did that, it flooded downtown. Not much, but just enough. To be concerned. But
right. So, did they said about 48 inches of rain or something like that?
Yeah, even more in some places.
That's a lot of rain.
Yeah.
That is a lot of rain. Lot of rain.
And I know what I heard, they're saying only 2 is in the death toll, but I know from driving around, going to the highest part, trying to move around to get from the downhill area to get to Kingwood, people were driving into high waters while we were going into the high waters. Once we seen the water was so high according to the gauge, we were turning around going back.
Right.
Now these few people that did pay attention to our flashers, this is like 1 o'clock in the morning, going 55 miles per hour.
Wow.
Trying to tell the guy, you can't do it. Water is funny. When the headlights hit it, it's a mirror. So you think that it's a car coming to you, but what you're seeing is your own headlight in a wall of water. And that's what happened. This guy went into the wall of water with a car that's not even 4 feet tall, and he hit the water 4 feet. And all we know, we just saw a red light. Nobody couldn't go in our thing.
Right. How can you rescue unless you've got trained, firemen, guards and so on to go in to get him? It is highly impossible for another civilian like yourself to jump out of your car or van and go get him. So
911 authorities.
Right, to get there. And
the soul made it out alive. If he did get out, the fast he went, I don't know how deep he went. He could have opened his door or window and swam out to the other side.
Right.
I don't know, but I just know it's very dangerous.
It's dangerous. Yeah.
And they have expressed here in Houston. We just went through. This is the 3rd storm we have went through in less than 18 months. And I think I'm giving up. I'm a Houstonian. Now I might be a Californian.
Listen, everywhere has their share of problems, so it's like, okay, I want to move. Where am I going to move to? Then you got to think about, okay, if I move here. A lot of people, when they move, the last thing, though, they think about is rain and storms. They always think about hot and cold. They're like, well, I'm not moving here, it's too hot. I'm not moving here, it's too cold. They're not even thinking about, okay, what's the rain like? How many times a year, 5, 6 times, or how many months during the year do we have rainstorm here, or do we have a tropical depression, or people don't really think on that area. So I totally understand what you're saying, but
and then we get a new title. I remember, and I helped on Katrina when they came to the Super Bowl, and we did help George R. Brown. We had rescued and had people in the Astrodome. They opened up the Astrodome it was a big, basically, family tent.
Right.
For 3 months.
Whoa.
The mayor back then said, don't call them refugees. Refugees are coming from other countries.
Yes.
These are people that are displaced.
Displaced residents.
That's what
Yes.
they're called,
Displaced citizens.
And do not make them uncomfortable.
Right.
We'll welcome them just like if it happened to you.
Because this can happen to anyone at any time in any city. We have a lot of natural disasters that happen around the globe at any given time. But flooding is not something that we should take lightly, especially a lot of us can't swim. I'm not a swimmer by any means. So let me tell you something. I'm not even going to talk about it. They'd probably have to string me up on that thing to go across, and I'd be doing some bungee jumping or something, but I'm not a swimmer.
Yeah.
So can you imagine trying to rescue babies, trying to rescue elderly folks, disabled. I mean, this is serious times. We're in for some serious times right now.
A lot of people say things about social media, but I guarantee you, social media, in a sense, there are what they call fake news and false lies floating around on Facebook and a lot of other different things. But then there are some good things that happen. It was a elderly rehabilitation home here in Houston, and they showed the pictures of the elderly people sitting in the lobby with 4 foot of water. They sit in the chairs like they playing spades or talk, but there was nothing they could do. These were very people that could not do for themselves, and that picture went viral.
Wow.
In an hour, all 6 fire trucks was there, high water pickup. They got those people out of there in record speed in less than an hour and a half. But it took social media
Right.
to let the mayors and board people in Houston, we got to take care of elders.
Yeah.
We just put them away where they not in our sight. That don't mean we don't love them. We got to take care of them.
We have to take care of them.
Good job to respond to this and saw that this was a need. I'm quite sure they have more than just that one old folks home in the city of Houston. But
Right.
whoever was a photographer and posted on Facebook, that guy saved a lot of people's lives.
Saved a lot of people's life. I'm telling you. Yeah, it takes stuff like this to happen for people to come together. You know, you and I both know on an everyday, day-to-day basis, if you don't post how distressed you are, people don't pay you any attention. You know, and it's a pity that you have to go in that route for people to realize or recognize what you're going through. Of course, unless you share it with your friends or family and so on. But sometimes you like, what does it take for me to get some help around here? You know?